Devashri, I guess we can start with the session. So hi everyone, I am Harshita Garg, your FIFA Talk host, and today we are doing 89th session in the series, and today we have Devashri Shukla with us. Hi Devashri, how are you?
Hi Harshita, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So let's start with a brief introduction of yours, and then we can move towards the slides. And
Okay,
after that,
sure.
we can take up the audience questions.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'll just give you a very brief introduction and not bore all of you. I was born and raised in Lucknow, and I've done my entire education. That was my schooling and my bachelor's in Lucknow. After that, although I wanted to pursue my master's in psychology, but then life had different plans for me, and I went on to fly for two different airlines in India as a flight attendant. So for about 1.5 years, I've flown as a flight attendant for SpiceJet and Indigo. But I guess last year in March 2020, I decided to quit my job, and because I was extremely burnt out. So I decided to quit my job, and I had no idea of what I'll be doing next. So I started exploring, right? And naturally, as it would happen to anyone. So I started exploring, and I landed upon an internship in digital marketing. So when I started doing that internship, I developed a lot of interest in various, facets of digital marketing. And it's been a year since then. I had no clue even about LinkedIn. I had an account on LinkedIn, but I wasn't creating content there. I had no idea about, I did not know that people have legit careers in content writing as well. So I had no idea about that until recently. So since then, briefly worked at a B2B SaaS startup as well. And now I am working as a full time freelance content and copywriter. So, yes, that was it about me.
Great, good to know you more. So let's start with the slides. Should I go forward?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'll begin, guys. If you have any questions, you can keep putting them up as the slides keep moving forward. This is what I'll be covering in this presentation. Like, what does content writing include? How to learn, implement, and experiment as a content writer? And do you require a specific degree or some specific course to begin? And to become a successful content writer, how can you transition if you're from a completely unrelated domain or a field? And demystifying certain rules, whether in the content industry or otherwise. We can move to the next slide. So I'll begin with, what does content writing include? So content writing is very vast. I'm sure everyone here has some idea of content writing. Some of you might have a lot of idea if you're working with clients and if you've been working since quite some time. So you must be aware that content writing is very vast, and here's what I've included. Based on my experience, the little experience that I have, and that content writing simply means writing for the web, right? Writing for the internet, writing for various websites, for businesses, and for various purposes. That is what content writers do. And like I've mentioned here, that it includes content across various verticals. It could be blogs, articles, social media, various marketing collaterals. It could be, writing content for the entire website, which I did very recently for a client, and then writing product descriptions. So, of course, beyond this, also there are a lot of other areas wherein you can write content. And the end goal for content writing varies from client to client and industry to industry. So content writing doesn't just mean that a content writer is given a topic, just like how we used to be given a topic in school to write for an essay, and and we'd be done if after writing 500 words on that essay. So it's not just that. Content writing includes a lot of researching, talking to people in real time. It might also include interviewing people if we are, mentioning quotes on our article in our article. So it includes a lot of things. But in brief, I would say this is what content writing is. And also, the end goal that I've mentioned here could be anything. So, for example, maybe a client wants to increase brand awareness for their business, right? So they want to write, maybe they have a product and they want to write educational content related to that. So the goal could be, the end goal could be that create brand awareness and educate the audience by providing informative and research-based blogs and articles. That could be the end goal, and that is how the interaction between you and the client takes place. That's how you understand by asking more questions. Okay, what is the end goal? If I'm writing this blog, then what is it that you want to put across? So yes, we can move to the next slide. Okay, so coming on to the next topic is how can you learn, implement, and experiment as a content writer? Again, I think learning, implementing, and experimenting, all these three things are very personal to every content writer out there, and I can understand because I've been at the receiving end of things, and I still am sometimes, wherein we see a lot of content out there, and we get overwhelmed at certain points in time, wherein because there's a lot of content, you cannot choose and you cannot decide, and you cannot put your finger at one thing or one course or one book. So that's how it is for different people, and you don't have to be hard on yourself in that sense. So this is again based on my experience. I think if you want to really understand the craft that is content writing or copywriting, then you have to practice it, you have to read, you have to write, and of course then if you want to take up memberships or various courses, you can do that as well. But it's important to write. So a lot of times what happens is people, based on other people's successes, people think that content writing or freelancing or copywriting, all of these skills are very easy, right? And I'm not saying that they are not easy. Of course you can learn something, but to go from good to great, it takes a lot of practice and patience and time, and how and your willingness to to sit down and understand that craft. So because now we know that there are a ton of content writers and copywriters out there, but if you are very honest with yourself, you will keep upskilling, you will keep telling yourself, pushing yourself basically to rise to a certain standard. That is very important when it comes to whether it's content writing. It doesn't matter, not just writing, whatever skill that you're interested in. So it varies across different skill sets. So I would say, to strengthen your base and your foundations, it's important to keep practicing and learning. So yes, I think when it comes to important readings, you can. So I've recently purchased On Writing by Stephen King, and I'm still in the middle of reading it. And it's a brilliant book, of course, and it's highly recommended for every person who wants to pursue writing, whether it is content writing or writing in general as their career. So that is one book. The other one is Elements of Style. So if you are writing this down somewhere, or if you want to just simply write it in your mobile phone somewhere, you can write these things. We can move to the next slide, Harshita. So I've mentioned the books there, right? One is On Writing, the other one is Elements of Style, and then yeah. So any grammar book. So I'm sure all of us have studied grammar in school, and there were certain books that were recommended for different schools. I remember, I guess in my school we had Renan Martin in high school, or probably in junior school, and then we had some other book. So you can just pick up any grammar book, because these are foundations and these are basics. And what I'm observing each day is that not a lot of people are paying attention to this. I think people are chasing likes, and they are behind those vanity metrics, which isn't wrong entirely, but still I think it's important to focus on these pointers. They are very, very important. So you can take a screenshot here this, I guess, if you want, of these books. It will help you a lot, and they are all available on Amazon. uh, so you can take a screenshot if you want. Okay, so the I think this is one thing. Then another thing, other than this, if you want, you can. If you want to improve more, besides learning and implementing this, I think it's important to just start writing. Now you can write in. You can start publishing either on Medium. It's a free platform. Uh, and you can start, you can just simply open Google Docs and start writing. uh, right, that is actually the easiest thing in case you're very apprehensive of posting your content online, and that's an understandable fear, by the way. So I think you can start by just writing in your swipe file, or if you have, just start writing, whether even if you want to just use a pen and a paper, a pen and a notebook, you can start writing there as well. And I think that will help you break a lot of barriers that exist in your mind about writing. The idea is just to start, because here's what I've observed. I have improved over time due to this practice itself. I wasn't a proficient writer. When I started out, I wasn't in that situation, and I still don't consider myself as the best writer or in the top 10 category or anything of that sort. I'm always improving and always growing. I stay in that mindset. So that is exactly what can happen with you as well. You just have to write, and if you're okay with publishing online, then I've already mentioned sites such as medium.com, right? And of course you can always post your thoughts on LinkedIn. I think that is one of the best platforms to put yourself out there and to start putting your thoughts in a coherent form. I think that platform is it's very it's very responsive, and it's a very supportive community. So if you want feedback on your writing, or if you want to connect with a lot of people who are in that zone of where you are at this point, so you can definitely start writing a lot on LinkedIn. uh, you can do that. Okay, and other than that, we can move to the next slide. Other than that, if you want, you can also join memberships. Now, I am someone uh, who does not, spend a lot on very expensive courses, of course, because I have been prey to, expensive courses before, and I am very, very, very careful of where I spend my money on. And online courses can be a very scary place to put your money at. So I would suggest, if you are looking to join a membership. Now I'm not sure how many of you might have heard of the Freelance Writers Den. It is I joined it just yesterday, and it's not expensive. It is just $25, so that's like 1,800 rupees per month, of course, and you can cancel it anytime. If you don't like it for the first month, you can definitely go ahead and cancel it. So 1,800 per month is not a lot of amount. And Freelance Writers Den is an amazing community. It is by Carol Tice, if I'm pronouncing her name right, and she is the her website is makealivingwriting.com. As far as I remember, I'll just put on the names here. You can Google them. We can move to the next slide, Harshita. I've mentioned the Freelance Writers Den and everything there.
Yeah, so someone is asking what's the advantage of getting that?
What is the advantage of it? Okay, so the advantage here is that if you so see, the first thing that I have been facing and a lot of other freelance content writers face is loneliness. Loneliness in terms of not being able to understand where you stand at the moment. So for example, if I am writing content and I want to improve, right, but I don't have anyone who is going to critique my writing, who can I talk to, and I need someone who is better than me at this stage, right? So मुझे ऐसा कोई चाहिए होगा who is like at least 10 steps ahead of me, who can look at my writing and tell me, okay, maybe you can improve this, okay, you shouldn't be doing this, you have added too many words here, or you need to focus on editing your content more. So that is one of the biggest benefits of joining that membership, which I've mentioned, the Freelance Writers Den. Yes, and also you'll get to be a part of a community, right? You cannot, I'm not saying that people cannot do this alone as such, but I think writing, if you are someone who wants to improve their craft and wants to become very good at it, so you can have a competitive advantage and not just become just another content writer or a writer in general, then I think taking these steps is extremely important. And that's my opinion, of course, and that's what I'm doing for my growth. So that's why I'm recommending it to everyone who is here. So that is the advantage of joining such a membership. And that's why I'm not recommending any random content writing courses. I haven't taken any content writing course at all, and I don't even recommend people to take that. So yes, so as I've mentioned it here, that this will give you a holistic understanding of writing as well as freelancing, right? So yeah, and I've also written that since writing and freelancing can be a pretty lonely job, at some point you'll need access to memberships like these because of the advantages that I've mentioned. So there's that. Then the third thing is any other memberships that I can mention? So I'm not aware of any other memberships as of now. I'm sure there must be a ton of other memberships, but I liked their membership because of for a lot of reasons. I've heard that they provide a lot of quality feedback on writing, and it's a very active membership. It's not like it was made a couple of years ago and there's no one active there. So you get a lot of critiques, whether if you want to get critiques on your pitches, your cold emails, or it could be absolutely anything, and you can approach people over there and they are really helpful. So I'm honestly speaking, like, I'm not aware of any other memberships. Is it also beneficial for copywriting? So I haven't explored that area of the membership wherein I've gotten my copywriting critique, but I believe it must be. It is specifically for writers in general. So I'm sure that even copywriters, and like I know that there are copywriters who are there. So I do believe that yes, it is for both content and copywriting. But still, I think you can always check their website if you want. Freelance Writers Den. I can put in the link here later once I'm done with this session, but I'm sure it must be beneficial for copywriting as well. So, yeah. So, the third thing is to keep experimenting. Because what works for me will not work for you. What works for me is not going to work for you. And okay, great. I think Souvik has put in the link. So, in terms of experimenting, like, you cannot follow a strategy. For example, if any top content writer that you see on the internet today, you cannot just follow what they are doing. You know, you cannot take it. You cannot take their word for it every single time. You cannot copy paste their strategies and expect it to work for you. It might work for some people, but it might not necessarily work for you. So you have to keep experimenting a lot. And then coming on to the next thing, which is if whether you need a degree or not. So I don't think you need a degree because this is a skill, and skills can be polished. So you do not need any specific degree. In fact, as I mentioned, that you do not even need a specific course in content writing. But of course, I would say if you have absolutely nobody who is in your connection, or no one to ask more questions, then you can always go to Google. And I think the first page of Google will give you a lot of answers when it comes to what exactly content writing is. At least it will give you a basic idea of what it is. Then after that, I think you can always and always go ahead and talk to people on LinkedIn specifically and ask them for guidance. And I'm sure, I mean, most people usually respond and they are very helpful in terms of that. So yes, that would be. I've just written a no here because there's really no more explanation to this. That you need this degree or that degree, or that you need to be an English literature graduate, or anything in that sense. So yeah, I don't think you need a degree.
Okay, did we take this question for how long you have been using this freelancer writings then?
Okay, so Sanjeevni, it's not been very long since I've been using the freelancer writers den. It hasn't been very long. It's only been a couple of days. Yeah, it's only been a few days. I think 2 3 days. So no, but I have been reading a lot of their reviews. So like I mentioned, I'm very skeptical of where I invest where I invest my money in. So I've been reading a lot about it, and I have also been I talked to a couple of other freelancers and took their reviews as well. and I heard that it's a great membership and a good community. But of course, just being there is not going to help. As a content writer, I have to be very proactive in terms of whatever I'm learning to be able to implement. So yeah, hopefully, I think after a month I can share more experiences, and I'm planning to share more experiences from the freelancer writers den on LinkedIn probably. So yeah, if you do follow me there, or if we are connected there, then you can definitely get more updates. And then coming to the scary part of how can you transition from a different career to become a content writer. So, like I said, there is actually no career path. Sorry, there is actually no clear path or a roadmap that can tell you that how you can change gears suddenly. So there is no fixed path for every single person. If there would have been, everyone on this earth would have been just following each other and doing the exact same thing, right? So it is not based on that. People often forget that human beings have emotions. They are driven by so many things in their life. If there would have been one document जहाँ पे लिखा होता कि okay, everyone is supposed to do this and then this and then this, then all of us would have been just doing the same thing. We would have been a copy paste of each other. But that is completely not the case, and people miss out on this very important aspect. So that's why it's completely okay if you want to venture into content writing and you are in a job. You can do that while being in that job, and I've already mentioned these things. You can start writing on various sites such as Medium, or simply in your Google Docs or Swipe file if you do not want to make it public. Or the best, like I always suggest people, is to just start posting on LinkedIn. I think that is the best, that has been the best option for me, at least. I do not have a website at the moment. I haven't published much on Medium as well. I think I only have 2 articles on LinkedIn at this moment. So yes, that's what I would say. And then if you want to transition from a different career to becoming a full-time content writer, then you must talk to people who are already in the industry. Now it depends whether you want to work as a full-time freelancer in an agency or a company, or you want to freelance, uh, or you want to become a full-time freelancer. That would depend, of course. Then you can talk to specific people on LinkedIn, and you will have to research a lot and spend time a lot, reading a lot about this. So there is that. And like my story was that I transitioned from being a flight attendant, right? And flight attendant is not at all related to either digital marketing or content writing. So I still think that if I was able to do it, I think anybody can do it. It doesn't matter which field you're coming from, which domain you're coming from. In fact, I think if there are so many engineering graduates these days who are venturing into marketing now. I mean, I see every second engineering graduate who is a marketer. So I think I don't think that a degree, or I mean, a different, domain can limit anyone from entering into such fields or such careers. So yes, I think it is quite easy if you have a job, and if you have other commitments, where if you're supporting a family or whatever that is, you can always do that part time. Like you can always continue to write, part time. And I think the last section here is about demystifying rules, facing fears, and questioning the status quo. So, and I love this because I did. I mean, okay. So, questioning the status quo is something that I do on a constant basis. Status quo is basically the rules, right? The generic rules which exist in the society. Like you just go to school, then you go to college, then you get a typical degree, preferably in engineering or management, and then for the rest of your life you're doing some for like a job for someone else, and that's it. That's the end of your life. So I cannot do this. Like that's not how my personality is, and it's taken me a lot of time to discover that. So whether it is in content writing, whether it is in freelancing, or whatever skill it is that you want to pursue, then you have to understand that a lot of people will question you, because a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions in general about, and they'll doubt you a lot, other people, because they are basically projecting their insecurities and fears onto other people. And I've seen people doing this. Like now that there's a lot of rise in freelancers in India in general, people say these nasty things online. I mean, I've read, creative directors putting up posts such as, like there are so many digital marketers out there, or that there are so many content writers out there, or by 2022 or 2030, everyone is going to be a content writer, as if it is a bad thing. So you have to, you have to be very strong in when you come across such, when you come across such people, basically. So you have to, because there have been times where I have broken down, and I've questioned my choices as well over the past 1 year. And trust me, that is exactly why you need to be connected to a community of free other freelancers, or people who are helping you become better in your freelancing journey. Not just freelancing, it could be even your job as well. That is completely okay if you want to do that. So in your, whether it is, if you've chosen content writing, copywriting, whatever, so you need a community of people. Yeah, so it's important to do that. So yeah, I think my presentation ends here. It was a pretty short one and a crisp one, but I hope I was able to help you with something. And I know I did not have a lot of pictures, so yeah, you can ask your questions.
Okay, Devashri, that was amazing and that was short and crisp to the point. Let's take up some questions from the audience now.
Sure.
I suppose from freelance writers, then there is a chance to get global exposures. Is it so?
Yes, that is true. Because over there, what they're teaching you isn't specific to just the Indian market, right? There is also a job forum over there wherein they keep posting opportunities for, to apply for jobs, in the sense they can be freelancing opportunities as well. So yeah, that are specifically posted abroad. So yes, you will get a chance to get global exposure, to get a global exposure. Next is
Which
which
pla-
platform? Yeah.
yeah, which platform is best for posting blog?
Okay, so I haven't posted a lot of blogs, to be honest, but I have posted a couple of blogs on Medium, and I think that is I mean, it offers a very seamless experience. So I would say Medium, and you can also post articles on LinkedIn as well. So Medium and LinkedIn for me, I would say. Right, three.
And if
Okay.
like you can also go for third party sites like blogger.com or WordPress, or
Yes, yes, definitely, of course.
that creates a personal blog actually.
Yeah, of course, definitely, you can do that.
So what kind of content we should post on LinkedIn?
Okay. To be very honest, here's what I'll tell you. If you go ahead, so it's been 5 months since I've started posting content on LinkedIn. I have posted videos. I've majorly posted videos and written content. I haven't done a single poll as of now. I have written, I think, one article. Yeah. So just text and video. That's what I have done. And of course, LinkedIn also offers different formats. You can post different kinds of things over there. So don't think that just because LinkedIn is a professional platform, so you only have to talk about business, or you only have to talk about startups. It's not the case nowadays. I mean, people are actually breaking barriers by talking about anything under the sun. Like, it can be mental health, it can be absolutely anything that you find fascinating, at least initially. I know a lot of people say that it is important to post for the audience. I completely agree. But when you are just, if you are just starting out, or if it's only been a few months, then I would suggest you should post about things that you feel very strongly about. That's what I have been doing for the past 5 months, right? I did not focus on, oh my god, who is my target audience. I am sorry, but you cannot figure out your target audience immediately. So you can post about absolutely anything, trust me. Like I said, it's important to experiment a lot.
Right. So can you suggest some platforms to start freelancing other than LinkedIn?
Okay, so I haven't, experimented on any other platform like Upwork or Fiverr. I think these two are the most famous ones. So I haven't experimented there, at all. It was LinkedIn since the beginning for me. And I think I'm going to continue with LinkedIn as well for the future as well. And probably I'll also publish my own website in a couple of months down the line. So yeah, it's going to be LinkedIn for me, and that's why I cannot, like, I'm not the best person to suggest you any other platform. But yeah, people do succeed in these platforms as well, Fiverr and Upwork. So if you do know someone who has succeeded and has, is doing well there, then you should definitely connect with them.
Right. So I just want to add something here that like if you want to know more about these platforms like Fiverr or Upwork, you can connect with Jayant. I'll put the name. Uh, we had a session on like Fiverr before, so you can also
Mm.
refer the video. And
Okay.
yeah, that has a complete understanding of how to put a gig and how to get clients from there. And second thing
Mm.
you can go is joining WhatsApp communities as well. Like that helped me a lot because in communities people keep posting about the requirements of different things around freelancing, be it writing, be it marketing, designing, or uh, website development or something. So you can be a part of communities that you can get the freelancing work from. Yeah.
Mm.
Next question is, what is the subscription fees you mentioned?
Okay, for the freelance writers, then I'm assuming that was 1800 something, $25 a month. That is the subscription for freelance writers. Then.
So hope all the questions are answered. We are just waiting for someone, if like for 5 minutes, if anyone has any question, they can put it
Okay,
out.
sure.
And yeah, Devashi, thank you so much for the session. It was insightful and quite to the point session. I hope you enjoyed it as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Payal has a question. Like being a newbie freelancer, I don't know how to get outbound leads. Can you suggest something? Thank you so much. Payal, outbound leads, I think if you want to get outbound leads, then you will have to practice your pitches. So far, I've been lucky enough to be getting inbound leads on LinkedIn, but I will also be very soon, I'll also have to start pitching because you cannot depend entirely on inbound lead generation. If you want to start inbound, then you should start working on, I believe, cold emailing and cold pitching, cold DMing as well. And I think the best person for that, I think Komala Huja makes a lot of good content, has made a lot of good content on pitching and emailing. And Komal also has, by the way, she's going to start her newsletter as well. So you should sign up for that. She's going to start it from next month, that is August. She has the link in her bio on Instagram, and she's going to talk a lot about these strategies. So go ahead and subscribe to that list. Because she has been doing a great job. So I think that will help you, Payan. Okay, you've signed up. Okay,
Right. And
great.
I will also be doing a session on cold emailing. Like my next session
Okay.
will be on the same. So
Okay.
yeah, interested one can join that as well. It would be whole on concept of outbound leads and cold
Hmm.
emailing, cold calling, and around that.
Okay. Okay. That's
Great.
nice.
So yeah, thank you so much everyone for joining in. Let me know if you have any questions. Also, Devashi, you can put out your LinkedIn ID here so that like
Okay.
people interested can connect with you and ask their doubts if they have any more of them.
Okay, sure. I will do that. Yes, I mean, I definitely love to answer your question, guys. So do connect with me on LinkedIn. I sit there the whole day. Just kidding. I don't.
Okay. One question I wanted to ask that what is the one common mistake or like maybe more who or like you have seen people making in the writing, like content writing and the freelancing world?
I think people are impatient initially. That is one thing. So when someone is impatient, they, because when you see other people's successes online, right? They see these posts such as I made $1,000, thousand, I closed $1,000 deal, or I closed this deal or that deal or whatever, which is great. You should be inspired by those stories, because that will push you to work better. But also understand that it can also, it leads some people to get very discouraged and disappointed. They start comparing. and they're like, oh god, I'm not able to close any client, or I'm not able to do that, because everyone's you might have started right now, they started a year back, maybe some people started 2 years back. So it's different, and that you can also reach that point, but you have to be very self-aware. You have to understand, okay, what is it that is not working for me, and you have to work on that every day. You have to work on that thing. So yeah, that's something. Impatience is one thing which I've seen is very common.
Right. So thank you so much, Devashi, for your time and for imparting value. And thank you everyone for staying till the last. I hope you enjoyed the session and meet you in the next session soon. Thank you
Yeah.
everyone and good night.
Thank you so much, everyone, and thanks a lot, Harshita, for having me. It was a great session.